My most favorite game is football. It is a world famous game. Football is such a popular game that it is played even in the most remote corner of my country. People walk long distances to watch a football match. Even old people enjoy watching this game. To play this most interesting game, I go to the field near my house where my friends wait for me every late afternoon. My friends also love this game very much. We play until dark, but it is a very hard game. It requires lots of running. Those who love the game, however, runs about with tireless energy. Even I can run through the field continuously for at least 2 hours. Football players also should also have a lot of strength to kick the ball. They must also be skillful in controlling the ball. All this makes this game a difficult game indeed. Yet it also makes it interesting. I shall always love this game. Of the people in the world, I like my dear mother the most. Not all the wealth in the world can make me hate my mother. Everyone knows that my mother love is greatest in the world. When I see how my mother behaves toward my father, brothers, sisters, and me, I am filled with pride. In evening, that she does, there is a touch of love. Mm, Though she sometimes go scouts me unreasonably, I know that she does so not because she is bad, but she is tired, mm, working all day for the happiness of our family. So I keep quiet while she expresses her anger so that she may feel a little relieved after that. She loved for our family is proved every day. When my youngest brother is very hungry in the middle of the mm, night and cries for milk, she wakes up and wants to attend to it. Even if she is tired or ill in the same way, she wakes up before all the others and go to bed last, so that everyone in the family can receive her care. If anyone is ill in the family, she is the one who is the most worried. Such care and love no one in the world can give to me. Now, for these reasons, my mother will always remain the dearest person to me. My maternal grandfather and my grandmother are very old. My grandfather is 80 years old and my grandmother is 70 years old. I like a grandfather very much. He tells me a lot of stories. He also helps me do my homework. My grandmother loves me very much. She buys me chocolates and sweets. She tells me to be good and obedient to my father and my mother. During my school holidays, I follow my grandparents to my uncle's house in Ving, and they also always advise me to learn well and not to play around too much. When I go to school, my grandfather follows me to school, and then he goes back home. He wants to see that I am careful on the road. Again, when school's over, I see my grandfather waiting for me at the school gate. He takes me back home. I love my grandfather and my grandmother very much. Everyone has his or her own hobby. For me, my favorite hobby is reading books. My father was not only a writer but a researcher as well. He had a great collection of books on many fields: literature, science, art, fiction, and non-fiction. After his death, I inherited the most valuable treasure which has been preserved carefully up to now. As I have a large collection of books of my own now, I usually spend hours reading and thinking about facts described in each kind of book, sitting comfortably in an armchair in a library which a book open on my knee. I recall my father who was absorbed in his reading, chat to Brian. and Lamartine. I still hear his sonorous voice reciting rhythmical lines of poem in Kim Van Kiel's story. While his face was radiant with ecstasy and raptures. Though books I see many countries rise and fall. Kings and presidents pass before my eyes, and I can follow the history of nations. Each book has a story to tell me of remote countries and strange people. I am greatly indebted to books indeed. For me, a good book is not only a true companion, but also a well experienced teacher guiding me through my life. It has the miracle to relieve my suffering and my hardship and reveal to me strange and new horizons. Reading books broadens my mind and improves my knowledge. Instead of indulging myself in fertile en- entertainments, and often keen on reading books which are always a source of comfort and relief to me. And I am determined to preserve my father's valuable treasure for my posterity. In a few words, reading of books contributes to the morale of uh, intellectual formation of a man's personality. My worst experience happened on an airplane a long time ago. After graduating from high school in Hue, I was quite happy when my parents allowed me to continue my study in Saigon. Living far away from my family, I longed for an opportunity to see my dear once again. At that time, the best way to travel to Hue was to use DC-2 or DC-4 planes. It took me only 1 hour and a half to fly from Tân Sơn Nhất Airport to Phu Airport. I often enjoyed comfortable, pleasant flights, but one day during my air trip to where I had to experience the most frightening uh, in, incident I've ever had in my life. It was in the winter when I received a letter from my parents informing me of my sister's approaching wedding ceremony. I hurried to VN Airlines office to buy a return ticket to Hue. I boarded on a DC-4 plane that morning. When I was flying over Nha Trang City, it began to rain. Looking out the window, I saw Nha Trang was surrounded in a dense veil of rain. We were having a good time, but when we flew to Da Nang, the weather suddenly got worse. It was raining heavily and the wind was blowing furiously. I was a little nervous. The plane was all right for 30 minutes. I was listening to the music on the plane's radio. Other passengers were talking. The stewardess were serving drinks and food. Black clouds flying past, heaven past, and heaven past us was veiled in a curtain of a heavy rain, dimly winding below. Suddenly, lightning struck one of the engines. The plane dropped rapidly. Some of the people were screaming, and the stewardess were falling down. From the cabin, the co-pilot's voice was heard to advise passengers to fasten their seat belts and keep calm. Looking around, I noticed some nuns taking out their rosaries and starting to say prayers. Their faces were as pale as death. Also, though I was a hardened traveler and I got used to remaining calm, that time I felt quite frightened. My heart was beating when fast, and I was trembling with fear. I thought I was going to die. When my fear didn't last long, about 3 minutes, when the pilot started the engine again, everyone on board heaved a deep sigh of relief. We landed safely at last. At that time, I had to cancel my return to Saigon by plane and took a sea voyage. And from that time, I never traveled by air when the weather is bad. Our city life, our family life in the suburb of Ho Chi Minh City, not far from the central city. It's about 30 kilometers to the south. Last week, my brother and sisters paid a visit to my grandparents in the country and stayed at home alone. I was in habit of playing out early in every morning, as usual. After going to the supermarket to buy some necessary things, I came back home to start doing the housework, cleaning the floor, making the bed, making coffee, and preparing lunch. Mm, The house was the house in no time was so clean and tidy that it seemed bigger and larger. I worked from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. I felt so tired that I had to stop working for a rest. After 15 minutes of relaxation, I started working again. No sooner I had taken the teapot from the cupboard uh, than suddenly I felt something burning downstairs. I got such an embarrassment and fright that I dropped the teapot while I was hurrying downstairs. To my horror and surprise, the kettle on the electric stove was burning as red as fire. I was in such an embarrassing state that I was quite at a loss. Um, an idea flashed through my mind. I rushed to the switchboard to cut off the electric power. The house suddenly grew as dark as the pitch. In the pitch dark kitchen, the kettle turned so dazzling red that it looked just like a hot burning sun on a stifling summer afternoon. My ambition is to become a successful scientist. I have always enjoyed attending science lessons in school. I believe it would be life's greatest joy to establish my career in scientific field. Becoming a successful scientist involves a lot of hard work, like Einstein and Newton, who braved a lot of setbacks to become successful. I am very inquisitive by nature. I do not stop asking successful. I am very inquisitive by nature. I do not stop asking questions till I fully understand the answers. In class, I always make sure that I perform each science experiment properly. When in doubt, I consult my teacher. As a scientist, I would be able to invent new things for mankind. We should then be able to lead a more comfortable life. Perhaps I can invent cars that are operated by robots or a computer that thinks like a human. My parents think highly of my ambition and are very supportive. They always buy me books on science and take me to a science exhibition. In order to fulfill my ambition, not only must I work hard for it, I must also understand that failure is the mother of success. Every country has its own customs and traditions. They are manifested clearly in anniversaries, ceremonies, and especially on New Year's Day. In Vietnam, every year towards the 15th day and the 12th day, lunar month, everybody begins to straighten the apricot trees of their leaves, and watermelons are seen to be sold everywhere. Then one is ready to continue the new year with all his merriment and joy. They have all their houses whitewashed and decorated, buy new clothes for their children, and get everything ready for Tet. On the 23rd of the 12th lunar month, those who worship Buddha offer ceremony to kitchen god and layers to send him off to heaven. The nearer New Year comes, the more excited and enthusiastic people are. In this unique occasion, for people in the family to gather together to welcome New Year after a hard, long year's work. At the 12 o'clock sharp on the 30th of the 12th lunar month, the new year actually replaced the old one. All houses are well lighted. At that very moment, everybody well dressed rushed out to the city to visit temples, pagodas, or go to church. The old place for prosperous and happy new year. This is also an opportunity for children to put on their new clothes and wishes longevity. To the parents and grandparents, all of them are expecting to receive money put in small red envelopes. On New Year's Day, they avoid talking nonsense and try to keep a good humor towards their neighbors. They often pay visits to another, wish a happy new year, drink tea together, eat square cake, silent drink glutinous rice cakes of cracked watermelon seeds. The Vietnamese believe that the first day of the year is the luckiest day in the year, and if on this day they enjoy full happiness, they will be prosperous and happy all year round. The Vietnamese New Year lasts about a fortnight. It gives sufficient hopes and recreation to our countrymen. After that, they are ready to resume their normal work. The house we're living in is situated in the suburb of Ho Chi Minh City. Within 30 minutes drive of the central city, we have lived there for more than 20 years. This is a very large house surrounded with a luxurious garden. My house consists of 4 bedrooms, a living room, a bathroom with a shower, a dining room, a kitchen, and a toilet. It is air-conditioned and well-furnished. The living room is decorated beautifully. Paintings by famous artists hung on the wall. At night, the coral neon lights increase the beauty and consciousness of the room. There, on Sundays and holidays, the father usually spends his time playing chess or drinking tea with his friends. My mother and my 2 sisters are diligent and hardworking women. They often kept the house clean and tidy. On sophisticating day of summer, we usually take meals in the garden. It's fairly cool and quiet here. We enjoy our meals amid the melodious twitter of birds on stormy and rainy nights. All 4 family members gathered in the living room, watching television or telling each other about their daily activities. I love my house very much because it is the place where I was born and have grown up in the education of my father and in tender loving care of my mother. I've spent my whole childhood in the love and affection of my dear ones, with so many sweet memories. I was born and have grown up in the country, uh, in a small village beside a beautiful river. My village is surrounded in a hedge of green bamboos. Most of the houses in the village are built of bricks and have red type tilted roofs. In the middle of the village, there is an old pagoda with tall trees around it. On the first and 15th day of the lunar month, the villagers often go to the pagoda to give offerings to the god of agriculture. On the right of the village flows quietly a clear and blue river. When I was young, I used to swim in the river with my friends. How can I forget the wonderful time I spent on this river fishing or rowing a boat with my boyhood friends? On the left of the village lies the village green where village meetings are often held by village officials. On this ground covered with tough glass, uh, we used to fly kites on windy autumnal evenings. The majority of villages live on agriculture. They get rich thanks to the fertile rice fields and their diligence. Harvest time is certainly the busiest and the merriest time of the year. During the harvest, the villagers often get up very early in the morning. They cheerfully go to the rice fields to harvest the bumper crop, the fruit uh, of many months of hard work. The villagers are very friendly and helpful. They are willing to offer mutual help in any case and always get on with one another harmoniously. My village is rather small indeed, but I like it very much because I was born and have grown up there and spent my happiest childhood among the simple and hard-working villagers who always feel attached to their native land. Anyhow, we had to set up our holiday. We were coming to an end, but our plan to take a trip by car to Dalat wasn't able to be realized yet. Our thoughts about Dalat, with her gorgeous cherry blossoms and scenic views, were urging us to start our journey. Then one morning our dream came true. We hired a four-seat traveling car and drove straight to Dalat early in the morning. Splendid landscapes at dawn on either side of the road were unfolding before us. The refreshing morning breeze was caressing our skin, and in high spirits we were singing merrily. When we reaching Blau Winding Pass, we caught the sight of a red running car in front of us. We sped down the pass. It seemed to us that a younger girl in the red car didn't want to be overtaken, so she drove her car at a tremendous speed. Suddenly, she lost her balance. Her car swerved to the left and crashed into the slope and overturned. Quite frightened, we braked hard and jumped out of the car. We tried to turn her car up and pull out the girl trapped in the car. The girl escaped death by a hair's breadth, shivering like an aspen leaf. In spite of her sudden shock, she looked very beautiful, just like an angel with her short cut hair, an oval face with bright blue eyes. After a while, recovering from panic, she timidly thanked us for rescued her in time. Then she looked at her flat tire in despair. Reading her thoughts, we took our shirts and began to remove the punctured tire and fix uh, the place the space a wheel for her. As soon as the work has been done, we started our journey again, together with Zahunla, the girl's name, having just escaped from terribly accident and witnessed it. We drove more slowly and carefully. At last, we reached our destination very late in the evening. Before saying goodbye to us, the girls once thanked again us and didn't forget to put down the name of our hotel uh, in a pocket calendar. We were invited to Hunlan's house that very night. Parents heartily welcomed us and thanked us for having saved their daughter's life. Now, whenever I see the hyacinths blooming on a small field out, I recall the girl bearing the name of the flower, and wonder whether she still keeps that unforgettable memory of such a dangerous trip. My favorite cinema ride is a resort in summer is Vũng uh, which is located on the Eastern Sea, not too distant a ride from my home in Ho Chi Minh City. Vũng is a beautiful little city built along the shore and surrounded by rolling rock-covered hills. Many people go there for weekend trips or longer holiday vacation. There are lots of good hotels in the evening, and some along the nearby beaches. There are several nice beaches in Vũng but my favorite beach is a small one. They are nestled in a cave of large rocks. It's reached by climbing down many steps to the water's edge. At the scheduled beach, there's also a large wrecked ship, firmly stuck in the sand just offshore. Along the main beach in the city, there are numerous restaurants located on the land. Each one of them has colorful chairs, one to sit on and rest. This is a favorite place for many people to come into in the evening and watch the sunset and enjoy the sea breeze. Vũng is such a is such a special sea resort to me that I shall miss it very much if I can't visit it at least once a year. My school is built on a large piece of ground. People can see the sign of the school and read its name, Tianhua High School, from quite a distance away. The sign is put across two cement pillars which form the entrance gate of the school. The school is built with bricks and roofed with red tiles. Its yellow painted walls have already become gray, and its roofs have collected moss due to the year of monsoon rain. My school has only 9 rooms. Nevertheless, it houses the students of 12 grades. One room is used for the principal office, one for administrative office, one for teachers, and 6 are used for regular classrooms. Along veranda is situated in front of the building, and a hibiscus fence surrounds the school grounds. The patio area is very spacious and has 2 big walls and tall, shady marine trees, one at each side of the patio. A flower bed surrounds the flag pole. At the at the back of the school is a large area where students can go to take physical education and participate in various sports. Bathroom facilities for the students are situated toward the back of this playground. My school has 600 students. Half of these 600 students are boys, the other half girls. It has a staff of 12 sisters, of 12 teachers, including the principal and the proctor who also teaches. It operates on a two-shift basis. Those who study in the morning take physical education classes and play sports in the afternoon, and likewise, those who are enrolled in the afternoon class engage in physical education classes and play sports in the morning. I attend morning classes. The school is therefore very busy and active all day long. It only becomes quiet and deserted in the evening, when all classes are finished and the teachers, together with their students, have gone home. I am in the 11th grade now. Soon I will leave this school and transfer to another school to enroll the 12th grade and finish my high school. I like the school very much and have spent happy days here. Whenever I think of having to leave it and transfer to another school, I feel very sad. I am sure that I will miss it greatly then.